Previously on Icy World.
Just a comedy of errors today, and it's not very funny nor entertaining. Because if I can do it over today, if I can mess it up, I'm going to. And another bear? Dude. Dangerous out here. Hopefully the wall of bears will cease at some point. We have a cute little brown bunny. It's going to be cute in my dinner pot. Greetings, programs. Pyrrh Pianissimo here, and welcome to a vintage story, Icy World. So here we are with episode 25 upon us. I am going to do a quick check because there's a few things that are pressing, and that is making this bread. I think I've got enough food to last for a panning session. Yeah, this is going to last a very long time. Actually, let's go ahead and fill our bowls. And then put this back in the fridge. It's nice because it's, kind of like in the water. It's pretty cool. Okay, and now we need to think of where we're going to pan. I think we're just going to do it here. Yeah. Whoa. How come I'm floating? That's because it's running. Ew. Okay, we may make another little spot to pan, or maybe we'll do it outside. What I'll do is clean out my inventory and take a chest, probably outside, because I don't want to take the time. I really need to make some more chests. That goes on the to-do lists. Yes, it does. So what I'll do is clean up my inventory and take some supplies outside, and then we will get started on a very long panning session, during which we will watch the ever so exciting moves of panning, but we'll do a Q&A just to pass the time. Tizona Amanthea asks, is it a Pyrrhic victory if you do win? Well, what makes it a Pyrrhic victory is how much you sacrifice in gaining that win. P.S. Meow. Tizonia Amanthea suggested maybe I could grow crops if I made a greenhouse with glacier ice. That's exactly what we do later in the series. And maybe it'd be enough to lure rabbits. There's a few that are trying to get there, but we haven't had anybody make it over there quite yet. Hypnotic asked if I posted all of my settings anywhere. I did plan on making an episode 0 so I could put the settings, but the main thing is that I did not pick Snowball Earth. In fact, I didn't even realize that was a setting, to be honest, until after I made this. I selected the starting climate as an icy world, which is why it's not completely covered in snow, and I was able to find an oasis, although I was very lucky to find an oasis very close to spawn. Pineberry212 asked what kind of quail I have. It's a bit off topic, but I too keep Caturnix quail, and that's what you hear in the background. Sometimes you'll hear adult quail crowing, and at other times you will hear baby quail squeaking. Andy Days asked if the Arctic vessels are a vanilla spawning mechanism or is it a mod. My Icy World series is completely vanilla. The Arctic vessels are something that Tyrone had actually planned on implementing, and they were in the background. He just never put them into ruins, which he did in 1.18. Lord Luba also said that he was interested if I tweaked the world settings to get the not so completely icy world. Like I said, this was the original icy world where you just picked the icy world start, which is the coldest climate you can start in. Snowball Earth was something introduced in 1.18, and that just covers everything in snow. I wonder if that was something meant for a creative application. And it's not that icy right here because I was lucky and found a little oasis where I could build my base fairly close to spawn. I didn't have to walk that far. And there are a lot of swathes of rock and gravel where there is no snow on top. Although I have discovered that right underneath it is another layer of ice. It's pretty interesting. Candy said, "What was that?" This was one of my bloopers at the end. That happened to be my cats trying to murder each other. They try to do that regularly. Okami Riez commented that it looks challenging without mods like Primitive Survival and that big food one. I think what I'll do is I'll try a Snowball Earth, but I want to put Better Ruins and the Primitive Survival in there. I think that would make a fun modded series and make Snowball Earth a little bit more interesting and not quite so frustrating. GM for the People comments, good job with the Arctic supplies and forage vessels. Panning for clay can be brutal grind in Icy, maybe the worst along with food, and not getting ganked by the Infinity Bears and wolves, foxes, psycho bunnies, not to mention the eternal darkness. Anyone ever make it that far? Actually, in my season 1, I did get it to where it was dark almost all the time, and it was a little bit frustrating as far as filming goes, but we'll see how we do this time. Ekebrecht suggests, as hunting in this wasteland just provides hand-to-mouth pickings, maybe you should consider to set up some pit traps to lure bears into it. To be honest, I hate setting traps. I really hate setting traps. I may set some mini bunny traps around my house, but boy, just setting a bear trap just seems like a whole lot of work when I can just avoid them and then kill them if I need to. Now, if I were trapping them so they wouldn't spawn, that would be another thing, but they don't do that anymore because they will disappear after a certain amount of time and then respawn elsewhere. Pineberry, are you going to try bear traps? Specifically traps you have to lure a bear into. Except for the boiler room, I'm not sure I'm going to be making any bear traps. Also, are you planning to make wood laminate armor? Actually, I am, and I did. GM for the People. Wait, what? You can zoom? Yeah, it's a mod that you can zoom, and I will post the link to that mod in the description. GM for the People commented, white foxes really are less aggressive. I thought that was really interesting. I love comments like this. Apparently melanin, as well as some neurotransmitters, play roles in personality and aggressiveness. I've had people say that their white Coturnix quail are less aggressive. So maybe there is some truth to that. Una person says, I started to question my memory about marking copper without typing, so I had to check. Yes, the mod that I use to create better visibility on the icons, my eyesight isn't that great, apparently overwrote the ability for the vanilla game to just automatically put in the names of the ores and such. I've since added another mod that gives me a whole lot more icons, and it puts that ability back in. Ekebrecht asks, was that another meteor crater next to the trader? They're everywhere, and if I could just eke out one iron pick, believe me, I'll be getting them. Especially with this red clay I've got. Woohoo! Xantippe, I love the bloopers. Kitty, what did you do? Yes, my kitties bloop all over my videos, and I quite frequently put them at the end in the outtakes. Slarzyer, or his YouTube name is Nose, I think. He'll have to tell me how to pronounce them. You can make dough with a bowl. I had no idea. Thank you so much for that tip. And he says when gathering ores and flint rocks laying on the surface, it's better to break them versus pick them up for chances at multiple drops. When I pick them up, it does the same thing. You can look and my inventory, because I'd like to keep them on my mouse, that way I'm not breaking them. I'm always afraid I'm going to lose them, especially in the snow. They just go flying everywhere. But yeah, you can right click them and you can see the inventory increases by 2 or 3 sometimes. Xantippe, I spotted a grown rabbit underwater trying to swim to your farm. I wonder if they're drowning. Any way to make a rabbit trap? Someone suggested that I dig out some water or, place blocks to destroy the water and then it'll suck them down. But tell you what, it'll just suck me down with it. But I may make some little mini bunny traps around there. I'm not sure. They haven't caused a problem yet. Lord Lupa, so what happened to emergency pick only? Yeah, the same thing that happened to like the 3 or 4 emergency picks before that. I just got involved in getting stuff and I was like, let's make another one. I mean, copper was pretty plentiful. Drunk Guardsman, hey, just wanted to say enjoying the content. Started playing this game for a little while and come to your videos to help figure out the bits I'm struggling with. Thank you, that means a lot. I hope that you can get a little bit of something out of this. I don't go over a lot of the hows and whys in this series. I do plan on restarting my beginner's guide and hopefully that will explain a lot more. Lord Luba, any particular reason why you haven't made yourself a copper shovel to speed up gathering snow? Yeah, a combination of being lazy and forgetting and just doing things the hard way. It made for an interesting time lapse though. But it just, even with a copper shovel, snow and gravel just are awful to gather, and it doesn't feel like it make much of an improvement. Slarzyer, the 8 pieces of nails and strips recipe is designed to use easily with plates. Well, that makes perfect sense. Didn't even occur to me. The Savage King, might be time to make a cellar? Yes it was. And I did. Anachibi asks, is there a reason you don't eat more food when you're starving? Is it more efficient to keep the bar low? Taking notes for this challenge. I learned that by watching Enz play his Cold World series. There is a little bit of an empty tummy buff, I guess, when you're really, really hungry, and then you eat 1 piece of food. You get a temporary stay on using up your stamina as you sprint or do other things. So that's really helpful when you are starving. Slarzyer, the ladders go down by aiming at the bottom half. I think about that and it seems like it still doesn't work. It's just me. I guess maybe my eyesight is that bad. I can't tell the top from the bottom. I don't know. Amanda Ernston says, I've been binge watching this series for a few days now. Love that you don't cut much of the gameplay away. I try to leave as much as possible. I do try to forward through some of the boring stuff like grinding and going over old ground. But if I actually do anything, yeah, I'll bring you along. Nothing can disappoint me more when I'm watching a series and I'm enjoying watching them build and watching them create and watching them go through, the motions, even the newbie stuff. And they're like, oh, I'm going to do this, and boom, it's all done. I'm like, I wanted to watch you do it. Slarzyer, when there's a pile of stuff and you're trying to pick up one item but you keep getting the wrong stuff, place the stuff you don't want in the crafting grid. You'll auto throw it once the menu is closed. Yeah, I always forget that that's a possibility, but in that video you were talking about, I literally had a piece of slate gravel just taking up a spot, and I just kept yelling at myself every time I would go through that video and edit it and whatever. Yeah, and I ended up leaving a flint axe behind when I could have just brought it with me and left the gravel. Anachibi, the stair trick is super nifty. Is it considered a cellar under there? Yep, you just have to verify it. Put your mouse over it and see what the Pyrrh speed is, and then put your stair in place or whatever you're doing to seal off the room, and then you check it again and just make sure that it goes down in Pyrrh speed. And just before I end up going really, really hungry, I had one last piece of dirt to pan. Let's see. I can't see in there. Can't see. All right. Bowl of food. And munch. Hooray! Okay. Let's go check out what we got. So you can see I got a bunch of books, and we can't even sell these anymore, which is kind of a problem. Oh, that doesn't even have any lore on it. Hopefully that's a typo. We'll see if they have lore on them. Bones, of course, will be useful for the garden. We have rough diamonds, peridots, and emeralds. So we'll be able to sell those. Nothing super spectacular, but at least we've got a few of these. Copper spearheads. We've actually got quite a few of those. It's going to be great. Save us a lot of time making spears. I've got a bunch of linen. Look at that. That's just really awesome. And arrowheads, of which I won't use, and there's still no way of recycling them or anything, so those I'll just be ditching. We also have 8 nuggets of silver, a silver chain, which we also can't sell, so 1 copper chain, we could smelt it into some copper ingots. That may happen. 7 candles, that's going to be great because we'll need to make some lanterns soon. 11 rusty gears, and 4 gold nuggets. Now I did pan a little bit of leftover sand I had earlier, and that's what this came from. We ended up with 3 more rusty gears, a piece of lapis, 4 pieces of clay, 42 nuggets of copper. We've got 3 zinc, and 3 clear quartz. So not a bad haul overall, and we have a little bit of time left. So what we can do is, first of all, I need to clean out some inventory. We need to make chests, like super duper bad. So I'm thinking, let's make a couple of ingots. I think I need another pick. Yes. And probably another hammer. What's my hammer like? A backup hammer won't be a bad thing. So let's fire up 4 copper bits. Let's see. Yep, let's fire those up and work on making some chests and see about getting some garden stuff done. All right, let's give you, I don't know how many this takes. And we'll put 2 in there. Let's find our torch. I do not know where my torch is. We'll just take this one. We need to, oh my goodness, we have no room. We seriously have no room. I think we can just put our nuggets in there, our gears in here, along with our other selling bits. Right. Let's put our pan in here. Yep, more junk. We're just going to yeet those out the window. Right. So let's take you guys out and stick them on the forge along with a bit of fire. While that is heating up, let's take a quick peek. I think I had some meat that was going to expire when I put it in there. All right, let's make a really, really fast stew. I'm thinking something like that, just to use those 2 pieces of meat up before they go spoil right in my hand. Do I have any wood? Yes. It's not going to take much at all. And I keep spinning my screen around. Okay. Let's get this stuff out of the inventory. We're going to need tongs and a hammer. And let's start making some of those strap things. Let's start making the things that we need to make chests, which are nails and strips. Okay, quick check. Let's get this off of there before we burn some more fuel. And that's fine. Let's get these poured. Great. We have a bunch of things that we need to work on and a bunch of things to finish up. So a good panning session and a good Q&A session today. And we will do it again if we make it to episode 50. Again, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. In the meantime, play hard, die often, and leave a good-looking corpse. I've spent way too much time on that. I screwed it up, and now I am just going to let it sit there and cool and forget about it.